Dark clouds loomed over France's economy in Q3 as almost all indicators showed the country had stalled. The Bank of France has now, however, forecasting a rebound in Q4, but will their enthusiasm be shared by investors? I'm Monica Gibson and I'm joined down the line by Philippe Waechter to discuss. Philippe, France's finance minister refuted last week's downgrade by the S&P, and today the Bank of France announced a growth outlook of 0.4%. Is their enthusiasm warranted, or is this the kind of denial which is causing France to lag behind some of its European counterparts?
Well, in fact, there is two different questions. What Standard & Poor's said last week was simple. He just said, you used to have a 2% GDP growth every year on average for the last 30 years in France before the crisis. And now it seems that France's economy is not able to converge to this 2%. So what could you do and what do you expect to do? For the moment, you use stabilization policies to try to converge to this trajectory, to this 2% trajectory. But it doesn't work yet. And so maybe you have to put in place some more structural reforms just to be able to recover more quickly. And after that, you have what the Bank of France said. And she said effectively that for the fourth quarter, GDP growth should be around 0.4% on non-annualized rate. It's consistent with their own survey. But when we look at the survey for September, October, and November, they are much more optimistic than what we can see in other surveys from INSEE in France or from PMI market or things like that. We are less optimistic. So maybe there is an optimistic bias in the Banque de France forecast for the fourth quarter, but probably we will have some positive figures, but 0.4 seems to be a little high.
A major question mark is how business and consumers react to rising political tensions amid the suggestion François Hollande's economic reforms do not go far enough. Some analysts say Hollande is still got a chance, but if he fails to take it, the gap between France and Germany in terms of economic performance and credibility as a leader of the Eurozone will simply yawn wider. Is Hollande on borrowed time here?
We have to keep two things in mind with French politics. First, I think that François Hollande has in mind a kind of political cycle, which is not necessarily immediately consistent with the business cycle. So he is not in a hurry to jump on a popularity or things like that because it's not his immediate target. His immediate target should be the couple with Germany, and this could be very important because we see that there is a kind of balance of strength between Germany and France currently, and the weakness of our economic situation can be damaging for this for balance between the two, and that's something we have to be attentive to, because if we are not attentive to that, it means that probably the European situation will getting worse.
The finance minister also said, "I'm convinced we'll find common ground in the coming weeks," adding getting the deficit under 3% in 2015 is a credible and strong commitment. Do you agree with this sentiment, and what are you expecting from Thursday's GDP figures?
Well, I think that the GDP figure will be around zero. Could be zero or a little negative, but no more than that. And that's the first point. And the second issue on budget, it will be a very interesting way to see how things will go in 2014, because we do not expect some strong growth rate for France next year. And we even if we expect some acceleration in 2015, it will be very complicated to converge to the 3%. We've seen that in the European Commission forecast for 2015, the situation, the budget deficit, is not going this way, and we have a degradation of the structural deficit. So it's not the battle against deficit is clearly not over in France, and we need some more growth, and currently to be able to do that and to go further in our program to reduce the budget deficit.
The overvalue of the euro is a fact which G10 countries accept, according to French officials. The ECB's rate decision has impacted this to a certain extent, but according to analysts, to say that the cut was aimed to help Spain and Italy is far-fetched. Do you think the move, however, can help France's predicament? And how do you see the euro trading in the mid to longer term?
Well, I think that what has been done by the ECB was a good move, and it was not targeted to Italy or to Spain. It was just targeted for the Eurozone, and Germany maybe does not agree with that, but clearly the point was to have a more homogeneous Euro area, and that was a perfect move. And what kind of what target can we have? Well, I think that the good target would be 120 against dollar, but it's not in the short term. I think that the first target is to go back in the range between 125 and 130. But I think it will be complicated because we see that a lot of investors are coming to Europe, to the euro area, to make financial operations. So it's still a way to push up the euro. So in the really short term, I think we will remain in the range 130, 135, and we can expect at 6 to 12 months something between 125 and 130, and that's currently our target.
Philippe, thank you so much for your time and perspective today. Well, as we discussed, viewers, GDP data across the Eurozone will be released on Thursday, so join us then for all the market reaction. But for now, goodbye.